Hello, hello. Cần tâm lắm em.
Đâm lô về.
Oh, hello. Oh, can speaker tur po lo lang ta lo mai.
Lâu lòng phải nói về thủ mình rõ này.
Oh, yang lo kha. Ni camera ga email ka che men han focus deu lek lek
Cho tôi em thì con.
lek kan chate.
Nga. Nó bắt khóc nó sẽ về.
Tầm nào?
Thì kha nên anh phải đi về. Yo. Oh. Nghe mà YouTube in khoa ta rèn gian nghe này là có dấu ra mà
Dar som lết chân về. Riêng dar
riêng
som
dar
lết chân.
som riêng dar som lết chân về gian riêng
Riêng làm rõ. Cái đây riêng dar som lết chân về.
Ngoài rồi lên Daria ta trần kan ti khania Daria cho cái system cho na ria alu ta he kan la tam lu tuk lawa registration ti te hi chu mi za thum chuang kan nia ara chu nga mo internet connection han fel lo wang te le ten lo mang hil pal te hiom ve he ne boka ahun ta ga hi cho nên han tam hi cho harang renga
Naman một phát luôn nha cái mà làm su.
When office in lo work from home me
Lo work from home chẳng sao ra với ní gần chỗ lâu à. Ren sang
saya warpon kan cuma itu me
in chân cái bị đó nha.
Tui dana zirin terus batis mana telepon
nang ni lam tan zang rei so mai zok do na ki chu ven thon tu rom lo
dan lai tu kan men rei lai lom le
ani vio me nghe zoom atang hen an lo join tam deuh thin nghe YouTube live stream an en na sa zok
nghe ne tu nayan YouTube po he an en thova zoom he mi sang khat accommodate the ne amaro chanya kan topic a he career in IT industry ka han te wa han IT lam lo tan chuanen kan han som ve bok tak na hu forum deuh mai the chu wang chuanen aron tel te hi chu khalama interest tak tak ril ru pe tak tak chin deuh thiau an el thunga yang pon is lang in a live program a hi chim thailo pon is la te yan YouTube kan da te a video recording a hi kan IT society lama te YouTube pa te om reng do na ikhan an rem chan hon hona an lo thir ve to mai nga tu na live session nang lem lo po hian bang sa tu na mi participation a hi an lo thanem lo deu ni pon a thleng thui viau thawang ti kha kan an be se a
cái laptop thì power kan connect lúc nào kalau connect lagi
tama minute ni khat vel te anin ngak lok la anh phong này selangin kan hun tiam te kan thleng to box sia han tran chang mo pilangin aron join bel tur te ka chu aron join zel tho mai selangin a khong ain li panelist kan han tiang te hi kan IT society a kan executive member te kan OB ten nya khong ain in video ka lo on very local panelist sau te ka chu atir lam te nya kan ti chen angin screenshot te po ka lo nei ve langin a thang a thala kho na te po ni zela prem pu ya te ho te rem chang a piang kha chuan video lo on la an tan don mai langin ai zaina Mizoram IT Society le Department of Computer Science Government Residential Science College te tang kopin MIT lama ezon na chongchang career in IT industry program kanan mang thei tu rahi alo mom khop maya MI organize tu te pahnia yan nia government Azirtiri Residential Science College te hi chu introduce than pangai lova Mizorama College Lumsan nia chu ta an Computer Science Department khan nia ei mail thar ming thar te pon yang chu MITS kan ti Mizoram IT Society kan ti takai hi le min han soi fia lok chain kan ring dawa MITS kan ti hi folding tharania kumin June ni som hi pani khanin Mizoram IT choisan Paul Amichanhem ngai ten IT professional sang college zirtir tu dem the zirtir tu te ten IT department NIC niliti te Mizoram IT lama ezong tu sarkar le private lama te pon nia chung tena an din na nia chan jin tlema zong tu na kan shroi tu ni mek te governing body tiang chi ne wakha chu mingen website chate mits.org.in kan siam ve information basic information pek na tak takania chuta tang chuanin kan lo en theyanga he MITS hi IT Mizoram IT ma son theina na thok tura din ania athil tum jinga hian IT lama ezon na choi kan ti te atela chumi thareng chuanin zaina po hian a career lampang in ko mu na hun man tumin kan han in buat sai me kania te kan som na min pom saka wangen Zoramthanga a software engineer Cloudera alam dan te de gang chumo Cloudera Inc USA chunga po kan lom hle a nakina kan la soi zelanga lom thu te chu te kan speaker tu ra he kan chuang khop maya kun min pek the wang po na lom om kan tia association society swai tu te pon Zoram ai he ngai mi mal takin kale ka zir pui thin ania pa chunga college atanga BSc zir chhuak ho kan nia hele ka thiam thei ania tui box si taima box si ami shat khok heng kan tiang chi khan college kan lai pon kan han soi 14 acho Christmas so lai po mania pa chunga college hostel oma lekha zir ngat pe thei po ititia chu tiang mi chu nia kan college a chuan a hun lai ka chuan mi hriat lo ania ti chu tiang tak chuanin atai ma boka sanga zoga som kwa paruka khan BSc physics an ne huwa topper ani nge ni kam hun lai ka chuan Mizoram University te lo om lawa ne hu Meghalaya te ne na kanom ho lai ni chuta BSc physics major a ne hu topper ani ti chuan MSc physics a hi IIT Kanpur a zirzoma chuan MTech hi computer science IIT Kharagpur a zir le a chumin hu atang chuan an IT industry alu chila e thona te hi an lian rol khop ma sans microsystem kan ti te HP ti te Ericsson ti te tiang ate chuanin a thok to thina dona chuan kan soi tong khan Cloudera USA thokka omme kania hei kan bel du chu computer thiam dan te hian ang lo khop maya ani hi computer a thiam computer han te mai la chiang mai me zo tong chan computer a thiam tak tak ani garinga a chan chu kum som ni chuang heng software company lian tak taka a thok reng thei hi a thiam zia nem ngatun in garia nakin apa kan langai tha chho je langa software company a sumdong lian te chuanen mi thiam mang leilo chortlak mang leilo hi lo tam tak pein an kol reng hi rin om lo viau ne chuwang chuan etiang company lian tak tak a hei chen a thok to hianin a thiam le a chortlak le ni ti arin theya sarkar na anga confirm to chu rui thamai mai pon je ban thei lawang kha eng software company jan ni ve lem lawa so company ta na tangkai lo chortlak lo an ti kha chu an ban jung mai box sia chu tiang kar a hei chen a thok thei hian a thiam zia hi alan tirin kan sia hei zana kan program kan an man chan ai hun kamang rei don lawa kan rama sarkar nan min dai to lawa private company dia han thona tur la hi awang sia abik takin IT lama thiam na nei tan phei chuan an thiam na mil tho tur hi awang le zo le me mai ne chuwang chuan keng IT lam thiam kan ti te degree nei te hian na kan zon na konga ei zon na kan dap konga rampon amizo rampon te mayang India ram chung le kovel mun dang te po kan ril ru hianen kan tin zon ve ngai chumi tur chuan kan in ti pau khau po atu le ne chumi ata na min pui tu ni be sein tiang hian program kan an mangania hei kan speaker pu Zoram hi mi zo ji nga chuan he mi konga mani lo in hai komasa dai zau le thleng thui ber te jing ami ani anga a ber ti chu kan soinga mau lo wanga chan chu mi fel tak tak te kan hrial lo mi enga bazat an lo om theya ama ro chu asul chu sul sutu masa ani ti chu kan pom ani ane na tang yan thu poi mo tak tak kan ngai tha kan be sei don ani ti chuan kan program kan kalpui dan tura yan a registration kan ti rual khan registration kha chu aminga han ti ve deuh mai ania certificate te in pe kan tum than lem lowa a knowledge thil kan hria ta hi kan hlok na tura kan ngai mai a ka ti lai khan zona zot du tan kan tia mi engmo zatin zona in zota zona thatak tak mai chung ta chu kan speaker hi kan sil to chu le tha tiang in aron khai khom ngatin ama in kan ta na poimo te nia hriat te aron sei bel bokanga zona participant te na kan zon ni lem lo tin la zot lem lo tan po a presentation a thu soya tanga han zo bel du zawemo a hun lai han kalo zot man lawa ti mo te kan omani pon te kan software man hi Zoom webinar ania meeting ang khanin kan mail hi azawai hena lang thei lem lawa panelist kan han ti te chau hi mail le microphone te man thei na oma question and answer ti a oma anwai khanin han enu la khata tang khan zona inon zot thei atin a trong ka ngein a ka zot duwe ti kan omani pon participant ten kami chat ta tang na mo khan ron sei ula chu tiang tur chuanen permission kha elama tang kan lo pe mai don ani tiang chuanen hun zalen deuh kan manganga a mai na sei ta kan khan an holiday te lo ni lo boka kan ril ro zona om hriat kan duang chi zong zong a kha chu clarify na hun kan ne yang ti kha an ring langin atu te point ai zalen dawin eng thol dawin academic webinar seminar ang kan ni lem lawa ei chu ei zon nana atak tak in ko mu na tur eta mi experience nei ina aton hriat atang te ya thil min share ru tam taka nei dona chu tiang zong chuanin kan ril ru mangilangin atha ange ti chuan nakina loron lu bel tur angai la kan try tu te po atul dana zirin introduction te po chu kan la in pe mai tur angai langin ti chuan pu Zoram in ready chuan hun kan han pe mai chenga thai tiang in tin kan panelist atang te po khan kan du huna thu soi lai po khan lo interrupt pa chu han soi bel le lok mai lo na han ti te kan nei ni pon arem chang ve ka ngai ta langena thang ya ti chuan pu Zoram i lo so mangu hun kan pe nge
alo mame doctor tu nga triempa ibok analyst ta te po ka mel khiat te ka muno ma ya pumorel te in ngai oma in mel mu te pon wong le ni voi na hetianga hun tra min pe ka wangin ke ko ka lom tak zeta ichuan presentation toy te ka siama putlong khan question submit sa kan ron share no la chung te chu theiang ang address kan tu nga chuan presentation kan pek lai pon question te ka in zong bel zel thei ni ta mai sela zong nuwa po Q&A hun ka live Q&A hun te po kan nei thei le tura na hi la eng theory nge hun ni kan nei ka rexi lo wa da ka khat le chan le te po ni mai thia ki ma lama chuan har sat na om lo ti ka kan soi so do ni ti chuan presentation ka kan share ve nga you can present nga English le mizo in ka soi mix na savio mai thea kan lo thiam mai don nia so careers in IT ti kha boina kan topic deu ka chunita chuan presentation point te tak tak nia chan chu engangin nge audience na question ron to dan tu te audience te IT exposure level te kha ron triat vek lo wangin claim in a high level deuh mi thea rian bel du kan nei chuan presentation nei lai pawh kan in zot tami zel la kan sang zot in chuan hemi hi cover kan tum dan chu nia introduction ka siama ki ma chan sin toi te tuang kha ran soi nu to khata kha chuan hun pawh kan seng bel vak to lu tur ka ngai chuan ale pe ka chuan enge IT career hi a that na chan poi te in kan henanga chumi ro le chuan engtin nge IT career a lut tu ring how do you get started ti zong khan kan soi le na ti chuan India rama IT na muturin eng tianga malak tur nge niang chumi ro le chuan foreign lama thok turin eng tianga ngai men chi nge eng tianga malak chi nge chumi ro le question lo submit to sa kha claim ka thang chu ka chumi chu chan te kan tumanga soi zaw na te kan menga a to bera live Q&A hun te sim tai la ka tia le Dr. Tuam ron soi tong khan IT industry yan kum som ni chuang ka lo thok ve to 2001 March tang kan ka thok chana ka campus placement through kan hamu khania some microsystems kala thok ve ta charani Mizoram chunga hai kala thok chin nai lova Bangalore tangin tran chawa hei hi ka tho to na company te ania reverse chronological ordering tuna ka tho mek na hi Cloudera ania tam tak chuan in mel khet lo mai thea company lian tu kan ni lowa kum khata dollar tluk le ding on khat vel te chu kan revenue chu ni le a ma se Apple te Google te na khai kin chuan te tak te chu kan ni a Cloudera mel khet lo tan po big data lam lo ngai kan to chuan Hadoop threat fur mai thea Hadoop siam suak tu te company din khan Cloudera ma hian Ericsson a reilo te ka thok zuaya Ericsson ho cloud computing initiative and storage architecture velte kan design pui vea hemi ma hian HP Hewlett Packard tuna chon HPE and to Hewlett Packard Enterprise and server product division khan software engineer na katoka mi ma le in Sun Microsystems thang tharo cho in tho lo mai thea 2009 khan in time o Oracle na le kha san kha san tila tu ber pakhat chu Java programming language siam chuk tu te hin ti chuan Bangalore ko lai khan startup ngan ti ve zuai boka kum thung vel kan be ngata Linux file system le solid state drive mga I/O performance acceleration technology kan CMA kan be ngia lama se base angin kan lian so ta lem lo kum thum vel thì tôi có thể nuôi kan ka chu santa tuna hian Washington DC kan sun ko kan meka heta kan ma hian California Silicon Valley San Francisco Bay Area anti buka kanom amale in Bangalore education chungchang chuan an ching soi tom khan IT Kharagpur training computer science intake degree kan ini chuan IT kan refura IT career athatna ingat tinge mizo thlai ten IT field hian career kan nei benang ti kha kima experience atang in san kan tum venga apa karna chuan lo athai emini USA anga po hian IT field da lo hi average in field dang ain athazoka intinana medical field ipon IT a hian lo athani baka IT field alu hi medical field and why on all some days oka as na po sen so claim da isoka ni USA anga chuan medical doctor licensed practitioner ni tu chuan alo bera +2 level chunga kum somtal lekha zirangaya how ta ke ne maya sen so pona sa tu line IT field lu tu chuan bachelor's degree nei turin kumli lo maya heta chuan kumli nuwa chuan industry alu the maya doctor ka starting salary sang le ma se IT field ka lo lu to ka chuan kumru ko excel nei huna kha ananin kumru kan ral le khan entry level doctor salary ai khan laya IT field ka lo thok to experience nei to khan lo ani sang le zelen hi 2019 figure ania software engineering salary US kan so walin median salary ka dollar nuai khat chuang ania chu India paisa chuang nuai som riat vel an hi annual salary ania base salary ani tlang ku hi emi chunga hian bonus le stock compensation te alom thina atlang ku in IT he working hour here flexible trina office chu dar chu dizata thena dar chu dizata ban tiang bithia che kha om mai lem wa hi mitam takin remcha nan tia big takin family life boy ve tak tan chuan hi park chatak me insurance le retirement benefits te om ve ka life insurance oma dental vision le medical insurance health insurance provide vekania chumi chunga chuan retirement benefits India rama provident fund kan tiang chi kha om vek poka USA chuan 401k antia tunlaya India rama ngani NPS new pension scheme an tiang chi nen khana in zu vion It's kan so itu tongkan salary hian cash component to oma tlang win public company at chuan stock component to bok thina chu antinana dollar noi ka thai base salary lo ni ta se company khan an shares kha ngani incentive bonus antiang rangdavin an pek bel thin boka kumli chunga vesturin dollar noi khatte dollar noi ni te ka khatiang man hu kha stock an pe bok thina ni kha han bel chuan kum to pa total compensation hi intinan noi khat singa tana noi te po ani the ni company share a chet dang zin ti chon IT hian na tam there are more jobs than there are qualified people US ani le as well in Korea India pon ithawa India rama ka sumpo khan I hiring ka challenging thin ni qualified people ka duangin kan top lo thina engineer tam tak kan graduate tir rui ma se industry a higher club tak ka an lo deuh thina chuwang chuan position tam tak ka fill thei ka kan nei thina ni chu USA a po hian ni thawa chuwang chi chuan ni foreigner te po USA thok tura company ten min lap lo thin kan hei hi ani chhozel do na tin IT field a hi chuan kan qualification le experience kha khovel khoi huna po applicable vekani hei hi ani vek lo a field tanga chuan entina na architect te lo ni taila USA a architect ni tur chuan USA a architect certification license exam le kha ngaya IT field ta chung kha ngai lo nurse po India rama nurse zil swak chu heta practice tu chuan US a nursing system tlang le tho ngai doctor ni pon US system alo dan deu wangin license mu thingnan khan exam le tho ngai ni IT a chung kha ni lo US ni mo Canada ni mo Japan ni mo kan qualification le experience kan nei to sa kha khoi mun a po a chom rek thei ani chuan IT field a hian na apun bel zela nimina kan en sina dana chuan projection om chu tuna tanga kum som chung forecast kumtin IT job hi 12 atanga 24% in atambel chu zel to ni nan soi ni chuan job mobility hi kan soi lenga IT lama kan degree te kan qualification te mangkhan in company po kan in som ko thea khovel khoi mun a po kan in som ko thea ram khat chu nga ro po nge ni work location le employer khan restriction om lo thadeu po khat chu you get to choose who you work for IT company tho nge ni tho chu du hun na min ban ti ten kan lo lau thim mai theya kha ale lam zonga en chuan nuam kan ti lo chuan amo kan na kan tui lo chuan lo min pek that lo chuan a na om na location kan nuam kan ti lo chuan kan banga na dang kan rong mai ni so kar na ne nei nan lo na pakhatani veng hi private sector a chuan you're not employed for life. You're employed at the discretion of the employer. At the same time, on the flip side, you work if you like it. You don't if you don't. Chuan occupation dang ang lo takin IT chu ngani in chung desktop atanga na tho ani deu bera a risk claim ma dam do ina tho te ai chuan IT field the tho chu ngani infectious disease exposure temo accident workplace accident om thei ang chi occupational hazards ka om lo ti khan ta zo na om chun min interrupt mai dong ning chu tro putluang
nga mo zo ngal nga yang si riau te mani chuan panelist atang te po khan Q&A atang te po khan rem chang ngai la
ole zo na om lo ani photona chuan next slide a kal taila ti chuan IT lama qualification kan nei thata kan experience a that chuan employment opportunities tam lo tuka heng a lobo karon ti lan hi lar kan riat ho an ni mai thea heng ba ka hian sang tam tak employer tak tak an lo mani startup chadeu deu te startup lian deu to unicorn nan tiang chi te kan soi seng vek lo ma se lar zo kan tilanga hei hi IT career lam I focus chuan heng ate hian nai tok thein đủ đuôi thằng thầy thì chuan hẹn các đồng tiền lần hậu tế bộ hi US vek anh đi khép lo anh mà này nằm hông tế India tế bộ operation anh này Delhi tế Bangalore tế Hyderabad tế tầm em mình đi khác tỷ lần nan hi kan splash log đó này thì chuan IT career job progression hierarchy hi kan re khép lo mấy thế kan re là tlang pui chu sarkar na enge ni time bound promotion based enge job levels te kha kan re through mai thea chuan IT chuan a generalized the lo chan chu company sang in policy list structure right nang lo ma se hi adik tlang puya US company software company based employment ladder ni so hi ni dan tlang puya ni engineering entry level an lu hian IC1 anti tlang puya IC ti chu individual contributor tinania individual contributor ti zia ber chu midang kan manage lo tinani chuan IC hian level 2 le 3 10 han so le ta 3 an thlen hian 6 to 10 years experience ni tlang pui to thina ta khan adu chuan manager line, management line Ankala technical line progress to continue to an IC ladder zoka hian achunglam zoka hian ani 3 achunglam zok hian anom zui to thina kipo people management ka tui lem lo wangin IC branch hian kalo mani kum ni chuang IC branch hian kom tinani chu chuan management line ani chuan you are responsible for the performance of others baka performance evaluation te boi pui ngaya nang ma login report te ho kha angin nge an salary ringzat nge increase to mian kating zong kha manager ho chuan concern ta technical line om kha chuan a software amo IT line kha kan focus ta bika technical issues design software architecture software quality khati lamzong kha kan focus ta job trina manager ho kha chu engani technical folks so enabler ni ta ni chu ti role chuan IC ladder kal reng po hian senior to chuan you take on more and more responsibility you take on more and more accountability for the success or failure of your team and your company. IC7 vela hachuan in company-wide focus along nito ta company-wide software strategy, IT strategy, and lo krito trina. Chuan loa chuan hemi a vertical line I match up on deuzel hian salary slab po I match trina. Manager ni khan lo atam pha chuang lo a level ai nan chuan an lo kha technical line om nen khan ai nan tho trina le career progression kan soita adop le chuan IT field lama lu kun chak mai thea engtianga bu chan tu nge kan thelo mai thea chu thiamang to ken han soi kan tum chin dona software engineering hi ka background ni wangin hi software engineering ko de mai thea ka soi hian software engineering centric bu mai thea chu ti role chuan IT hian software engineering ni kherlo hi job function atam mani entinana UX design UI design technical documentation technical support field engineering tite sales engineering tite po om vector ma se khang ho kha hemi ladder ang tho hian professional mani software engineering kan ti kherlo pon developer kha kan ni kherlo thea intinana company IT infrastructure manage te ka tu kan tuina zo ko ni mai thei ni chu system administrator kan ni mo, networking administrator kan ni mo, storage administrator kan ni mo, progression ka chui tiang thau hin. So ang field abo kan lo lu du te la, ang stream abo kan lo lu du te la, we have to start somewhere. Heta kan soi tu machu ka ang ting how do you get started? Poi mo masabira chuan software chu code ni maya at the end of the day. So wang chuan coding history. Poi mo ni learn to code. And how do you do that? There are many online courses. YouTube channel po tam ta ko ma. Chuan Udemy te, YouTube, Coursera ti ang ate, MIT Open Courseware ti ang rin te. Kasoy seng loang. Kaka in deng vara Google search mountain, how do I get started in programming? How do I learn to code? Thì kan han zong la resource tam ta ko ma. Heng hi kan tar lang may dua ma se hemi pi la ma hian. Online resource tam ta ko ma ni. Online practice na te po hi online practice kan ti chu online website trong i programming skills kan ang male nang ma in assess the. You can try out some practice problems, submit your solution, and then the website will give you feedback. Was your solution correct? Was it good? Was the performance good? Katiang ka. Katiang te hi alarchen katsun niya haka rank te lead code tite. Chuan IT field na kan zon re na kan apply re kan resume kan lo enta ni programming language nge kathian ngang course nge kalapto nge ka experience ngang software nge kalu siam to tiang kathiang atang kan anan filter ko tani chuan a job requirement ne na I background lo in ande chuan telephonic telephonic screening interview an nei tlang puita katiang clear nam khan online practice programming practice website awi tang ka mani chu riam mai me than chuan poi mo le deuh chu programming language pahnih tal thiam atha alo bera software product tamber hi programming language pathum te an mangani so min hi wang chuan chang ti zau nan language pahnih tal thiam atha kan recommend du chu Python te JavaScript te le app development mobile phone app development lam te kan tu ini chuan Swift te mo so you saying lo I said to get started Python atang hian in zero tha programming language thiam ho deuh mai ania an ni English te po ang dewa chuan Python hi chu interpreted language alo ni ta compiled language pakatal thiam atha poka chu Java te mo C# ti vel te mo ngani ngadang Go te tam maya mase large wall hi kan tar lang mai du ni chuan adang le chu degree nei lo pon na chu mu thei tu ka nintina na kan thiam pa pakat high school chaw pasa ti chuan amai in zir chawa New York khachuwa ka nia amai in zir chawa Silicon Valley ya azu chu thlave to pa tin mo ti khan struggle chawa mande wa khan startup alut fuwa an startup ka video streaming lampang hin siama streaming device Cisco hian an company kha lita dollar nok doi tam tak a company international khan la lut ni khatiang khan ti dan ti thei chu nia ma se khatiang khan mi zong hi kan lak vek don lo chuwang chuan it's good to get a degree. It helps. It helps open doors. So BCA kan nei ni chuan MCA nei le tha. BCA hi chu 3-year degree alonia ka hret so lo chuan BTech nen an equivalent lo hian nai tlang pui ni chan chu BE BTech chu kum bi lo ni ta. So if given two candidates, one a BCA and the other is a BE, and I don't know how good they are. All I can see is their resume. I am more likely to pick the BE guy. So BCA kan nei ni chuan don't stop there. Go further, get an MCA. Tika kan wrong do cheu ni. Ani lo vek chuan if you get lucky, if you have a BCA and you have some solid real world experience, that may help. BE BTech ka soito du tu sama chuan thei chuan master degree amo PhD tlen kon kala tha degree advanced po le entry level salary po sam thin ani chuan you get to be more picky about who you work for, right? You could say I will only apply to Google or Facebook. Katian ka PhD ni to chuan you're in a position to choose. You don't have to beg for a job. Jobs will come looking for you. Chuan degree course te kan kal chuan institution through in internships le campus placement te po all of that. BCA level a chuan hi tam vak lo mai thei ka thasur mai thei boka chuan degree nei pi lama khan nichina ka soitong kan India ram sunga ro po there are so many engineers, but how do you find the good ones, or how do you demonstrate that you are one of the good ones? So come here profile increased not pakat chu open source project contribute in nakina hi asanin kala soi chiang lenga open source project example te entir cheu ka duai in khir lo takin. So why is this good? You get noticed and you get to build connections. Open source project ni chuan project lian tham pe chu khovel hun tin train software engineer tak le nge ni lar tak ten an lo contribute ta khang ho nei na tho ho na chance thadek mai khan ya khang ho nei na tho ho to chuan now you have someone who will vouch for you, who will back you up, who will act as a reference when you apply for jobs. So this is great. So you get to gain experience working on real projects. Open source project hosting pay to company takin production scaling and low deploy tani entinan may Linux kernel ate contribution low nei tala Covel Corporation tamberin Linux in hongani. Amazon Web Services is based on Linux. Google Cloud is based on Linux. Kati yang akan contribution low nei to chuan kaka hulut. It's great for your resume. Degree nang roro to siya degree nang roro kan open source contribution low nei to chuan your resume will stand out from the rest of the crowd. Hello le chuan get professional certification. Abig takin hi system administration lama kan tui chuan atha ani lo back on sales engineering lampang te lu kan chak chuan sales engineering ho in ngan ti kan ti chuan company lo oma they have a product and they have some customer who is interested in using that product. That product has to be integrated into the customer's existing IT infrastructure. Sales engineer ho ina anti chu kaka customer te problem situation, problem domain kha an visit chianga chuan an company an thona product te kha engtengin nge an va fit an engtengin nge an va architect an kha sales engineer ho concern ni tani chuwang chuan sales engineering lam te ti du chuan ani lopon IT administration lam ti du chuan lu du chuan certification nei hi thae me ma chuan ta hian a lar zual soi da zoila tunlai chuan cloud computing lian em ma man lai dewa engeni Microsoft certified system administrator tiang vel ICANN cloud certification hi a hluton chung hawa chuan Amazon Web Services certification a hlu berar chan chu Amazon Cloud hi a lian berta to Azure Google chuan company te wa chuan if you're running your own on-prem IT infrastructure, it's still very, very useful to have a Cisco certification or an EMC certification. Kapo ka kan tui da na zirin, nge kan tui na lai na zirin, le kan om na lai job prospect na zirin, ka tiang ka chan tu sang sang oma. Ka NC na AWS certification ka India, chuan cheng sing ru man vel ning ka siya. Fika certification fika tam loa in prepare nan to kat yang certification ka tidu chuan in prepare na to ring course sang oma Udemy te po hen omani so you go take the course and you take the exam kami a certification exam fee ka sim rup vel chuan adot le chuan job portal sang profile siam poi moni achan chu company te recruiting agency ten hetiang hian en ve renga keyword search mong ten ngani x qualification le experience mong ten an zong kwal vering china chuan alar sol ho chu LinkedIn te naukri.com monster.com ti tele ngani tang pat ka job vibe ti te ready fa te po kano min ka kama kan profile chata sia mga qualification le experience ini zong takini ta do nga chuan na chuan ram zong don chen chuan le chuan keep learning never stops. Doesn't matter how many years of experience you have. Doesn't matter how high your qualification is. Technology is changing all the time. So never stop learning. So you have to stay humble. Realize that there's more things you don't know than there are things you know. Practice, practice, practice. Sports nan, music nan nang ring. Practice ring nine. And finally, work on your communication skills. Written le verbal communication skills apoy mo abikin written hi apoy mo le wala tunlay remote work kovela hian. You sitting from Mizoram, you might be working on an open source project where you have contributors from all around the world. And the only way you're going to really communicate is using email or instant messaging. So bang chuan written English nature apoy mo hi organization chung pronoun po apoy mo you have to be able to articulate what you've done, what you're going to do, what your plans are, or what are the issues you're having. So verbal communication po apoy mo luto ka ase heng hi chu in zip so zel thi ania. My point is you might not be that good right now, but it's okay. Keep working at it. Keep chipping away at your roadblocks. Mitsuan, how do you get an IT job in India? See previous slide katimaya shortcut zongin heng zong hetam hemi slide ta kanti lang zong zong he kanti chuan. I can guarantee you you'll get a job. Next, adot lea chuan foreigner ha to te kan lo chak mai thea eng tianga teaching aniang. How do we get there? Awesome ber pakat chu timaila awesome kerlowa amante to do foreign degree nei. Intinan USA ha to chu USA changa US University changa degree nei ka ti thei chuan. That's a surefire way of finding a job here. Nilauta sila. What if you have an Indian university degree? How do you work in the US? So US sa thok tu chuan visa category ni oma pakat su H1B visa. H2B te po oma ma se those are for nurses and stuff. I don't really know about it, so I'm not going to talk about this. Technical line at one H1B visa in Italy. Technical, may baka scientific teponia. Technical and scientific, medical. Katien field ka through H1B visa in US here. And H1B visa requires that you have an equivalent of the US bachelor's degree. US at chuan kasoitong kan bachelor's degree, it's a 4-year duration. So a BA or a BCA doesn't count. So the minimum really is if you have a BCA and 3 years of work experience, or if you have master's degree or higher, or if you have BE/BTech degree. So H1B visa hi kumtin quota omani. What this means is that the US government issues only 85,000 visas per year to the entire world, not just to India. So ta chuan visa ka sing hi to US atanga foreigner US foreign students local ho master's degree zo amo PhD degree zo ho tan am reserve le. That leaves just 65,000 visas per year. Visa quota aya applicants an tamsin wangin lottery system in hi antita 2014 or 15 level tangkan. So wangin luck ang high telani aboy top of me. Kaya qualify po nila H1B kan deal chuan company min deal sa chuan hey ma ni deal thing company min deal sa ngaya. It's based on chance if you get lucky or not. So an H1B visa mga USA na to chuan kumrup chung USA kanom thini. H1B visa hi kumthum zel balita kumthum to pa kan renew ngaya. Boy kata renew thei ti nang ani chu. In company na green card apply upload so chuan. But if you have an approved green card, you can keep renewing your H1B visa indefinitely until you have the green card. Chuan H1B visa mga na USA to chuan ngani employer ka atlat ya you can apply for a different job. Let's say you go to the US through company X. Now you're in the US, you're working, and you feel like, oh, company X is not really paying me what I think I'm worth. So they need chuan H1B visa kali ni chuan company ka atlat ya you can go and apply for company Y or Z. So an visa category dangom leni to L1A ani lo L1B hantia. Hey hitsu intra company transfer tan anitani. So an intina India kan MNC US headquarter nei an Indian branch kan lo tala. You can apply for an L1A or L1B visa. So the company will transfer your job from India to the US. L1A hi chu senior level chin ta na nia IC4 ni chuna kan slide technical ladder kan ena khan career ladder kan ena khan IC4 amo manager chin chun lom tan L1A hi ania L1B chu khai junior to ni the ma se a condition chu kami US company in a foreign branch an ya khan an foreign office khan kum khattal continuous employment ni kotangai chuan L1A mo L1B hi kumma thleng a valida a renew thei lova ma se green card unapproved chuan that's a different case again chuan H1B ang lo takin L1 chu company a thak thei lo hei hi Indian IT outsourcing company tam tak Wipro te Infosys TCS hoina USA an staff te an thon dan ania L1 visa base hian you cannot change jobs so you're more at the mercy of your current employer but H1B you're free to do whatever you want subject to all these restrictions that the US government has imposed so green card kan soi le nge green card chu permanent residency permit nia chung yam je chu visa tel lo in US khan ilu tin US khan ikal thia I chok thia ilu le thia US citizen nen ai nang thua ma sai nan lo na nia chu citizenship le ni lo wang and you're still holding a foreign passport you cannot vote and you cannot work in the government usually chuan green card kha kumma ini to chuan du chuan US citizenship lak thei ani US lam ka soi na sa ka ko na ni wangin ma se US chau hi foreign job market IT lama ni lo Canada te UK Australia nge New Zealand te pon yang chu le nge ni English speaking country ni khelo Singapore te Japan te po tam em thawa khan a kaldan ka kan soi vek seng lo nga it's based on each country what policies they have chuan USA hi lu har em matuna chuan tam tak chuan Canada te hin sang to zo ka USA la nai thowa US nen time zone nei nang tlang puya sap trong an thiam ve tho boka chuan Canada hi tum lai chu IT professionals ho yan an bo view ni UK po tiang hen work permit te adil the ni USA chu work permit adil the ni lo company na sponsor lo chuan ma se Canada te UK te Australia te chu sponsor tu ni kher lo pon work permit adil the ya chuan kumtin an allot vein ka thia so if you get allotted you can travel to the country apply for a job and if you get a job you can just stay there tichuan khati kha background thil kan nei chunia ale beka chuan question submit sa ho kha chan tu reng mo ka thang chu ka eng tianga kalpui zel nge kan du le live question te kha onin le ka chat ke en lem lo wa
Chona zona an lo zo to sa atang khanin menan chan sak le phot mai la khata la tel lo zo du te kan nei chuanin an holama kan tile mai do na menya
ole
we submitted question ka
ama sabera ka chuan BCA ka zo to eng tin nge ni le zelang hetiang full de hian question pali panga kho ma hemi yang a hemi ya hen kan khai khom dewa ka soi nual to in ka hre ni china khan how do I get started the slide khan BCA zo chu thalo tu ka recommend du chu higher degree lak MCA ani lo vek chuan open source project ta te pa contribute ta mani initiative a tam theng ber experience nei kha apoi mo a BCA degree ringo athil danga inga liang real world experience kan nei tel si lo ni chuan job prospect a chat lok karing lo abi takin MNC anga te chuan no chu wang chuan BCA khan du tok lovin MCA mo professional certification dang MOT le kha acha chuan ke ma chau hen sang ta loila tro panelist te po khan lo sang về thầy thấu là trên su Mizoram context thêm đâu thiệt ngay tới bộ mà cái phải khéo lồng như thế à su bằng suan cái sản nó khá bị thầm đâu nghe này nó complete trả lời đâu kan thiệt suan panelist tới bộ khan lâu soi giao về thầy là lòng nó tăng MCA rồi anh tiếng nghe foreign tàu đàn tiền chỉ là khan USA tàu đàn su kan soi to Canada le UK and nghe ni an foreign ministry website te po karon tilanga a traber to USA kal duktan chuan antinan MCA tu nai lo zota India rama khan ha tho potatra direct in MCA degree ne khan USA na ho har lu tu ni India kumthu matanga kumnga vel thokula du tu sam chuan MCA degree plus open source contribution te kan ula MNC India kan join ula chuan L1 namo H1 remzok zok visa mang kan US a chuan in apply the stiang book in UK ate Canada te po kalimdu ni pon experience lo ni kha athani kumthuma tanga kumga experience kha I would say that's the critical period. India ramalo to silpo. Acha. Degree nei lovin na try thei thowem. Degree nei lo chuan a harsa khopang foreign kal. Foreign lama bisir kandu ni chuan. Ma se ni ka soi tong kan degree nei kher lo po hian IT industry chuan lu ve thei thowa but you have to be really lucky and you have to have a very strong resume of having done real world projects. Degree nei khan the company tan and job applicant so on filter na hasaber chu degree ani tlang puya chuin huwa khoi institution nge ti te in real world experience, practical experience in ngen ni ti khan MC na so ang chuan mi hnuai thok kan tu mani chuan company dang thok kan tu ni chuan degree nei tu kom lo ma say the degree is not enough. Practical experience counts. I think I can tell you. Mania business deposit hey thawani katiang ti tu chuan degree ni chungai lem lo you're going to be your own boss chuan degree nei lem lo drop out startup dina company lo ting tak tak ko kan thre furang karing Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, but those are really very, very few, and you have to be exceptionally good and lucky. And don't count on luck for your future. Get the degree if you can. Money in coding as your thayam, titereng may. Nichina how to get started the kapoin masaber ka learn to code the kan online resources at amlo tunlai to in one day ni tunlai generation mo kini generation 1990s te kain taila computer at lem du Mizoram internet te su omlo re in thing nge in programming kan siram you have to have a book maybe one book, and if you're lucky enough to get access to a computer, which I was in college. If you have internet connection and a computer, basic computer, you don't even need to have the programming environment on your laptop or desktop. If you go to HackerRank, for example, you sign up, all the programming environment is already there on the server side. You just connect to it, write your code and run it. You can see the result right there. It's all up to you. If you have the drive, if you have the interest, you can do it. And it's the best way to learn. Degree na isatliya nga hands-on skill. Satliya iso ang atan mamantlak lo ang kima. So bang chuan kasoy ring to kasoy le nga degree plus hands-on skills ini companies tenan enber. IT ro ang line nga job prospect tra. Tam may soitur seminar khat nga seminar asan ni pui taman ni mai masa tulai promising daw niya alang projection at alang so cloud computing will continue to be big. Machine learning, data science will continue to be big. IT security is always big. Cyber security. Again, tulai kovela chuan kan live hi online kan mang tam tolo tuka. So many business transactions are done online. So many relationships are remote and online. Online privacy, te online security, poi mo so zero chu wangin cyber security po. Poi mo zero ni. Kan who feel that kan again khatiang lam thiam chuan tam so zero don. Programmer trying to make an itayang. It's a karon so ito ka mania in zira practice ta mangaya. And I really recommend you guys try out HackerRank or LeetCode. Try the practice questions. And companies actually ask questions from these websites in their interviews. Data structures le algorithms apoy mo berti hiltem as a programmer, as a programming job candidate. Data structures le algorithms TM apoy mo but here's the key: don't memorize algorithms and do not really memorize data structures, because you're not going to be asked to implement, for example, quicksort in a technical interview. That doesn't happen. What's more important is to understand the algorithms, what their time complexities are, and which algorithm is good for which kind of problem. Intina na quicksort le merge sort telo ta. And performance su in view mase in situation na quicksort kapananga in situation na merge sort kapanang katiem zone kan rietiem turni. Programming question are job interview panel en ka chunhem veto mi za chuang hil tong ke interview veto ni we cut ma algorithm textbook implementation he implement during question kan job mai lo real world problem kan scenario kan si mga ta chuan in algorithm nge mangla tran mo tin jong kan zo chin dan ni chuan fit thiam ma se memorize ka ngai lo ni. What's more important is know what tool to use and when, which data structure is suitable for this problem. Mobile phone contacts application lo siam du tai la ingan data structure nge tran. If I have to go scroll from one end of the list of contacts to the other end, and then if I press the next button and I need it to go back to the beginning of the list, what kind of data should I use? In certification course hinge tram, hi china kan da soi to tun lai chuan cloud certification it's the most paying certification, the best return on investment. AWS certification in lak thei chuan Azure po, Google po. Software engineer Rosat, I submitted question akan oma. Salaries really depend on where you work, where as in which country, and within the same country, which city. For the same position, you might earn more if you are in Bangalore than if you are in, let's say, Pune, because the cost of living in Bangalore is higher. There are geographical variations and country-wide variations. If you work in the US, you'll earn more than if you work in India. So in US here, US kovela also chadna berni here in Korea. Nichina kan a slight masala ma kan kasoi to ya median salary too. If you are a software engineer in the US, that would be the median salary. If you're a fresh graduate, you might start a little bit lower than that, or maybe even higher, depending on which company is hiring you and how good you are. So if you're good, you can also ask for higher salaries. And if you are not happy with your current salary, you can always ask, apply for a new job until you get the job that gives you the salary you think you deserve. IT company thoi ha sakviawem ka experience atang chun hei ka experience ang ka soi theita ha sak lem lo ni achan chu mani tuina feel te lo ni boka. It's something I would have done for free. I enjoy it. Chuan company tamjok chuan vacation policy chadeu te ania work-life balance nai poimo ma voin po enge ka chol na chan tinan tu na ka company. It's not a holiday. It's not a public holiday. It's not a government holiday. But the company is giving us time off to unwind and recharge our batteries every month. Unplugged days and family taken loan niya sensit light niya life zong akan work with the win life zong akan titu lo tam ne kan boy ve mani khatiang nan iwang kan company tam takin flexible work hours te unlimited vacation te min pe ya kan company po unlimited vacation policy kan name, which basically means I can quote unquote take leave for as long as I want. In theory. In practice, not really so, because you have responsibilities, and any reasonable person would not game the system and just vanish and hope to get paid. It doesn't work that way. But you can take as many leaves as you need to then. Flexible work hours. So yeah, remote work. Commute a little hectic sinta if you're in a big metro area, traffic jams te na sa chuwang chuan ina tanga thok thei chu kan thok me ya hei tuna pandemic na vangpon khovel kumania Mizoram ataponia a thei chu remote working tigan kan thoka kum khat lai cham le chuang to chu wang chuan ha hectic ka ti em lem lo now this is based on my experience. It may not be applicable in some situations, and there are periods, particularly around software release deadlines, where things can get really hectic. So kan hatapon financial year top down chuan nghe ni nan na thế em chung ni ni leng zana tlai lo te ho chang te ko om tri ma ka tiang de thu khan software product amo product engineering kan ni mo customer facing engineering kan ti mo it's based on your release schedule, or customer na till product can deploy on it chuan customer ho deadline nge khatiang zir khan pressure to on battery ma se khatiang khan ni reng lo that's not 24/7 365 days a year. No, there are periods of intense focus and execution, and then you relax. So Karna versus company private sector. I don't feel like I'm qualified to really talk about the Karna side. I have spoken about company private sector parts there and benefits I can move. The main difference perhaps is Karna too. It's probably an employment for until you retire. Firing harsa MMA. Private company Totsuan, they can fire you. The employer can fire you, but on the flip side, you can say, I don't like this employer, I'm going to go work somewhere else. It goes both ways. Company panga over a 20-year career, which means I'm on an average spending 4 years in one company. I have never been fired, but I have left because I wanted to. So duunu na ban thei ti kha in soi thai na chi ni lo duunu na ka ban thei ti zo tu chuan sarkar na lam chu ka soi bel bak lu zok mai ka soi sual nuai thaya chu wang chuan du le panelist kan if you have some thoughts you can maybe chip in here. Om lem lo ni chuan Mizoram chunga software developer tan scope on em hi po hi Mizoram a ko om tam lo wangin panelist te khan an chang theng em o ka tia hi MITS in halakna chheu de nei so zela an panelist te khan tunlai Mizoram situation chu in chheu lo bi dona chuang chuan panelist ma tang khan in chang thi chuan hi lom bio nga ka tia kan ka khelo a chana ka khe em lo chung in kan tar lam ram ni hello Aizol kan laming em nghe cái in oi mu ta vek zo ka mi
kan ngai sa tui via wan ya ne ha Mizoram chung han ti vel te hi chu ki tho ngai na ani lem lo wangin soi haranga tin ke ni tan po kan mo deu vek mai hala hi chu soi thui wang ri lo velangin adanga kha an kal zel phot mai langin thang ya anom khom mai anti zel te
Yuan zona tha ka ti le pakat chu hi nia natural resources a Mizoram hi a hausa em lo ba chen khat chuan a hausa ti to kan mai thei but at the end of the day khôi nghe hậu sạch nó chúng nó kan hậu sạch lâu niệm kan là hai suốt tầm lâu em human resources lama trần lạc khi at lâu mo human resources thì akan tin na IT lama te electrical engineering intellectual capital kitang katiang akan Mizoram Mizote hi trần lai la at hazok ngem le kan natural resources zonga pili boilovin my 2 cents. It's probably not either or. I think we can maybe do both, but I definitely agree that we have to increase our effort and focus on training our students and make them ready for the new age, which is the IT-dominated world. So IT lama kanin focus na sa tuan mitina kan tarlam tong kan job prospect at siya mema kovel koi huna po Mizoram trangin missionary kan thom darang yan IT software engineer kan thom darang foreign currency in law an wala nga sang tak ka Mizoram an sungut le na Mizoram an invest on ni ka Mizoram economy choi kan thei don ka sia chuan IT lama invest to big tech in software hardware to load that chatayla capital investment capital expenditure santa chuan software skills sa kan invest na sa chuan investment capital expenditure sang silo right all you need is a laptop and an internet connection kami mangkan open source material mangin tromte in skilled IT manpower tak kan siam theni ka Mizoram hian export tamber lo nita se skilled manpower koi huna po India ram hun tanga te Europe te America te po na kin lo try darta se ka Mizoram an foreign earnings ka lo sung le ta se ka kan lo preview ang atikatia tin natural resources ram ching che lu tu ka hai chuan all some zo nga ka hello le chu ka nai dan de ni ni chu MITS lam malak na tang te pon sung te chu na kina ala lo ting te mi te ti zong kha kan than so chu dia pre-submitted question atang kan hi conclusion matan de ro kan soi du me chu anybody can become an IT professional anybody can become a software engineer you can do it if you have the grit if you have the desire so get your heads down and go do it so live Q&A om thei chuan hi tu na hian hun chu kan hong thei tur angai taila question submit ka hulem lova a submit sa kha chan lo po ka nei nu la khala khan du le kan kal thei tho po ka enge kan chair khan maidan
chắc không mấy hay cần MITS lang xoay tu te po he em gió nom sa ba cả gió bel na này tu ten kan line request deu boka ngam mo tang he anen hanen som lo ke la kan executive member kan panelist te tang he nga ne a soi to tang kan han tu ni bel du mo te po kan nei mai thaya chu in hong lo ko mum yang put mang du han sei du te kan nom em
Hello.
Pumarela.
Zoram pel kan hulea join engam wan ka zovele review ka deu le ka engineering final year kan ni dong khan in Sun Microsystem khanin project vati industrial training ti tura base kan nia chunga chan vati kan du ga va benge ge ani min pui kai huam ko mai amaro chu ka partner nen khani Sun Microsystem ka chu lian ma kan tri kan zoom chun zom talawa mundanga khanin kan kal ta jok nge ani hi kan chuang thina kan vai thian te jinga de bong kan soi ve industry mi ve thiet kan nei ti te point zona pathum lai kan ya tam deuh kan ya ma ro chu pathuma kan englawanga pakhatna chuanin nichinai background te po uzoramai soi chhonual toi kal chhodan te physics atang ini chowa industry IT industry han chowa kha thil tam tak tun is tuna level nen pe chon thil tam tak zero to in karinga in hun lai kan create ve huna chet te kha chonin cloud technology te hi kan la remu mal manglawa ka ti huna khani create engei loin fedai to em chu ka hrelowa amar chu a technology in depth chon i la create big che kring lawa khang i level a basic atronga enge i zero cho eng language in nge buli trana startup te poi lo din he khang hun lai kan enge i zira chon tun cloud lampanga in lea eng resource nge imana en tiang nge in zir chau tikha kan question pakhanna nianga panina chuan tilo te an fiat ve chak ve thok reng ila ko thowem ti te anianga pathumna chuanin nichina e tunlaya e kan naute apo tuna henem jetiwa IT department assistant professor kania mekina chunga kan naute po hi kan ril ve foa machine learning te python te java te tinba ka entry tan chonin C++ te po hi low expert view te te kan tia ve thini na small scale ange small industry telle tunai thonang te chu alien view karenga Google te Sun Micro tunai thotrinang te po iluna ho kha lian view atte ho hianin machine learning ti te python te an interest ve thewem hemi a fresher ho tan hianin phang alien ho so yete ka chu machine learning te harve pian rewa expert tur tak chuan chumi ani wang chuanin enge khami khan a small scale industry kan ti don nge khami atte company te de ho khan engange bul an tran bui fresher ho hi tive la kha chung pathum de chau chu kan zot photeng midang zona nei nualom sianga
ole ka thei hi long chu mai zona ho ka ama saber kha chu engting nge ibun tran i eng language nge ibun tran tivel lampang kha
oh
yeah pu barela lo sang kan physics atagin computer science akan ken switch ani tumlok na po ka nei lo it just happened theoretical physicist ni tumrang trim ka kan MSc ga zit ken kan na se job prospect en kan physics to interesting role in industry min lo hire do lem lo khalo ne computer ka an ti so kan BSc zilai le anu MSc zilai kan anuam ka ti zon tak mai khalo nia po miem lama ka ti lai chon Mizoram exposure kan lo nei ngai lo ba tu wang chuan chance kan ita kan dai nut ve pop mai ni alo nuam ta pian adi kan Sun Microsystems in minan higher veya intex line C in katran sowa C programming language chuan C++ po ka mga MSc ka zilai ti kan ka project nan C++ operating systems distributed computing tivel in katran so ni industry chuan MTech ka khan project tan chuan nge networking lampang khatatia ATM asynchronous transfer mode network simulator te ka zia ka C programming language man kan chu ka bultran chokdan chu nia ma se tunlai khovela chuan C le C++ hi system programming if you're writing the largest scale software system, like if you're implementing, let's say, Google Spanner, that's what they call a planet scale database. Maybe you'd want to use C++. But C++ is not used that often nowadays, unless you're doing something like that. If you're writing an operating system, or if you're writing a file system, or if you're writing a device driver. So for today's students, I would actually recommend you start from a higher level language. Python is a great introductory programming language, and it's used so widely. Most machine learning programs these days are written in Python, at least in the beginning. So if you're trying out some machine learning algorithm, or if you're learning machine learning algorithms, chances are you're going to do that in Python. Python, machine learning le AI lampangat. The library mantura scikit-learn, the TensorFlow, PyTorch. So you have a lot of the hard work already done for you, so you can focus on the basics. What you need to learn instead of implementing your own library. So BCA mo kami undergrad level up first programming introductory programming language and all see Python te at Java, maybe Go. C and C++, I think they should only learn those languages if they really need to. And in industry, that's my 2 cents. On the job in getting zero so zero may so you can some microsystems and a lot of lie can in military lie in Bangalore and light cloud computing although people were starting to make some noise about it. 2005 2005 2006 cloud computing really took off. That's when Amazon came up with their EC2 Elastic Compute Cloud, where you can rent servers and pay for pay per use. So
Tilaw te mai ila code vereng em nge now te ho ga ti tur ai pe mai zel nge ni kang lai vel mai te khamole le zona pakhat le chuanin tu na hanin machine learning chung chang vel kan soita thangka industry te de company te de hi hian in ang zongin nge nan tho vele application based de te hi na thok ten la tam em nghe machine learning lama hian company deuh zong zong hian luti vela khani fresher ho tan hianin machine learning ti bor vela hi a har ang reng riau mai boxia ti vela kha
company te piang in an technology stack here and simplified because they don't have the resources and the manpower to invest in complex systems. Machine learning, AI startup, machine learning startup, they can enter an Python based in Atlanpuyan and solution stack. So cloud and because smaller companies cannot invest in their own IT infrastructure. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for them to hire a system administrator or a networking administrator. It's a lot easier for them to just rent servers from Amazon Cloud or Azure Cloud and deploy their machine learning stack there. And chances are it's all going to be based on container technology like Kubernetes and Docker, and Python for the actual machine learning stuff. chuan GPU an hmangtlang pui bawk anga CPU oma GPU om bawk a GPU kha numerical computation atan an hmang masa tun lai chuan especially matrix multiplication. So yeah, Python is good. Dan khai ngen le kha so go
as zo deu to ni mai ila ko reng em han tivel mai te ka ni ke hau de
ko de ko ma se atlang point tun lai chuan ka coding ti ve hi chu exploratory do lector thar kan ti do na I go and figure things out, see what works and what doesn't work, and then I come up with a high level architecture or high level design. So I'm junior ho a lower level details to go.
Ole, thank you so much.
Yeah, ne bedang kha panelist strong te.
Kuzorama ang ay nom tanaw ti kop maya tan block pui kop maya chon ya zona ke pona ka shiat chak le zirlai te pona an interest to ang chi ka kan lo han select mai mai ni china tam tak sun lo zot to ta chonin India rama hianin ni chinai so yang khan IT company liana thok po de la chu cham chonin nge ni L1 te kha teng hang khan US alu thaila ti khai ron sei ta ti chon ka thien te poi tam takin lut khat to ta chuanin India rama khanin company thazwal handila eng hinge khatianga US cha han lu thakna ta na thadewa kha ne min han recommend them ti kha pakhana ni ta sela chuan ni sinai soya khanin US degree nei chi kha hinge du sak bi kan ni yang chi khai ron seya chu US takaron kala hanjir ti zo har MMA university han lo chi te ta chuanin online degree and pek thin hei Coursera kan tiang chi te po full years course MBA degree course kan tiang chi te hi an peta man ro chu to de tek ta hang chi te khanin master degree course te nei ta sela heta an degree nei ba khan an tan khan chance sangem ti kha ngile ta sela pa ti na chuan nia nakinai thengil ba to ka
ri kan to ri lo don mi ka sen lo
ole ka ron zot le ga dia ole
nge ni India rama tho US kal du tan India rama in company nge tho CMT ani time ka khia pakhat na kha atlang pu in US based MNC ho lu thei chuan du thu sa. That means if you can get into an Amazon or a Microsoft or a Facebook or a Google, now those are challenging. There's a lot of fierce competition to get into those companies. Kaka top tier lo mai taila. The second tier na chuan, let's say an Nvidia or a Netflix. Then third tier would be the Indian outsourcing companies, like the Wipros and the Infosys and the TCS. A chansu US-based company also and leveraging that, and they generally pay you very well. You're gonna get for the same degree. If you have qualified to get into a Google job in India, your salary is going to be much higher than if you went to Wipro, for example. So for those who can, you should really look at getting into US-based companies. So L1 transfer the poka ota. So US L1 base ikal so Indian IT companies through ikal so it's going to be on-site kind of a job where you work for, let's say, Infosys, but Infosys has a contract with some American company, let's say Walmart. So Infosys sends you to the US, they send you to the Walmart office So you go and do your work at Walmart office, running their IT infrastructure or whatever, you know. So Walmart gives to Infosys American salary, but Infosys business model is it's commission based, right? So they take a cut of your salary. So if this was what Walmart paid for you to Infosys, Infosys takes a percentage of that and gives you that much, which is not great. So Bang Chuan, if you can, try for the US headquartered American multinationals. So Traper. A company alien mo hindi nang Cloudera po alien dem lo. But we have a company, an office in Bangalore. So if you can get into Cloudera, for example, chances are we will facilitate your transfer to the US down the road if you're doing well. Kaka recommend try to work for an American company if going abroad is your objective. Mase to also an Indian company port. I don't know Flipkart there. They've done amazing. So Indian startup join those if you can and grow with those companies. That's also a fantastic opportunity. So as on
online degree le master course kan ti ho kha an pom thoem ti ka
oh pom thove
le min hom chan an nei le bi
Antinana University of Illinois here online in master course on the Ingria kan te poka in person isn't itu an treat done no a try ti te chun ka
ani chonin ye til pakhat le chu US semi engeni company chen khata hianin online a helama Mizoram atanga lo tho theng chi te hi enge a omem zirlai ni chunga hanin lo na tur thade wang chi de a om them
to like company tam tak hian they have a work from anywhere hiring policy tentia. So if you're good, you could be working for an American company sitting in Mysore. It's possible. But to be able to do that, those companies have to actually know that you're good. And how do you prove that you're good? Open source. Let me share my screen real quick. I'll show you some. Okay, right. This thing. Tinana, open source project liyan daw su Apache te hinita. So this is the Apache Software Foundation. Tahian open source project the project list is like this. So these are open in the sense that the source code is open. So anybody can contribute. I would recommend you go through these things. Look at the category, see what interests you. There's big data, there's cloud, databases, graphics, all kinds of things, mobile apps, or maybe mobile gateways, virtual machine. Katrankan, take your pick, see where you can contribute. Antinana, Apache Impala to contribute venol toni. Contribute dotala ingting ay contribute yang mo kati steps te ka omveka source code te po ente ya source code hanen hian tinana tunge contributors are active deute en thea ka active lona rele to atle min scroll thlak thui do ngai 2018 bel khan ka contribute ve nuala helai vela hino industry hetiang deuh hian some projects are more complex than others. So what I would recommend is you go here and explore, see what you like, and contribute. So na dang le pakatsu kung ani mi lo okay GitHub. The Explorer here, GitHub ate here, learn and contribute. Tam my open source project tam tu. Contribution could be as simple as fixing a typo, or fixing a test case, or look at their currently open defects and tickets. Pick the easy ones, get started, and up level the level of complexity of the things you're dealing with. Tikan connections kan siamta, you get to be colleagues with the other contributors. You vouch for them, they vouch for you. You can mention that in your resume, and the companies like that. Open source contributions are a big hit. Okay, sharing them to them.
Lo ko mai cho din nia ka zot zo chep to pa hi che kan zot lenga Israelite e tuna audience sam ta kian riat chak an ari noma e tuna hianin mas an zot nam che lo me the chia tuna tho na hianin engzat vel nge azat che po khe sai me the engzat vel nge I lo chuanin amar su US atin lo omta e le in man te khalo to ron ta ni khan mi tam tak chuanin yani athona kha ahlo kha jutam ma sela ai le in mana te ka sengnem don si ti khanin kal du lo te po hi anom de china ta khan nge recommendation ti kha kan ham che duwa chuan adot le chuanin hey Zoram hi IT kan la niam em ya na thona tur po awanga sarkar na wang em mai ni ta chuanin mitam tak hian IT line kal hi an recommend lawan soi chede uthina IT line kal hi thalave tiang zong hianin an soi na soi tam takin om thina amai ro chu khovel nangni chu khovel changkang to zo ka omin nia IT hi khovel kal chho zel dan tu ni na langsia ta chuanin heng IT line le science general kan tiang chi te arts general kan tiang chi te heta competitive handling phalo ta nang chu MCS te mo IS te mo han tumlem lo tang khan enge Mizoram a hianin kal achaturin ingayem ID hi kal zel na tlakin ingayem te kha kan zot okay
tu sang ha satai la ni ani sila kan soyang kan IT field hi chu expand so zel don mi khovel tuna IT penetration level li ram sang ai nang lo ni entina USA te chu penetration sang lo ngai tai la ram sang kan dang Japan Korea te po IT penetration na sa em ba ngani IT enablement of government functions there, government services te po a complete to ang itin developed countries at yun nasa ka India te entina Mizoram po nilo mi te ka chilo so katingin kan baka khovel hum dang Africa te Middle East te Eastern Europe South America some councils there to run loma IT adoption ka tun ai hian sang so le zel don ka kan opportunities CM le zel don chu mang chuan IT job prospect chu tu na tang hun ri tak ni a chadon maybe 30, 40 years, maybe more. So an IT lama career culture investment in Simka, I think it's a good investment. It will pay off. Now, the problem is we say Mizoram is very low in IT. I actually think Mizoram is doing pretty well. It's just that the market is small in Mizoram. So if your focus is just within Mizoram, hey, Mizoram, you think I can teach him ka? Mizoram map chung remote kan in scope on talk low mete. Mizoram ma changin IT field da graduate tharal mi san tel telo ni taila. Ma say Mizoram chung IT consumption market ka achat talk le silo chuan. And let's face it, that's the reality. Mizoram is a small state. Mishing Magdoi, Kadvel Bobak and Londwa. And most of the IT consumption there is concentrated in Aizawl, maybe Lule. So we have to look outside Mizoram. The globe has to be our playing field. IT manpower kakan export on the Mizoram Suma employment comes on Zelsuan. If our only dream employer is the government of Mizoram or the government of India, then that's not going to work. We have to look outside government jobs and outside Mizoram. We have to be ready to live where the money is, where the job is. Go to where the job is, right? And from there, send your money back to Mizoram, make Mizoram economy grow. That will create more opportunities for those who cannot go outside. So by focusing on your IT career and going out there and earning money and remitting your money back to Mizoram, you're helping drive Mizoram economy, and you're helping your fellow Mizorams who cannot travel outside get maybe employment opportunities by doing that. So that's great. So paradoxically enough, going outside Mizoram and working outside Mizoram actually ends up helping Mizoram. And you're not competing with other Mizos within Mizoram for the limited resources that is there in Mizoram. Tuana zonang Zoramthanga. Lo, Zoramthanga.
Oh, lo Zoramthanga.
Oh. Lo Zoramthanga niya. Company sang lo ay ang vek taloa. There's a median salary. I'll just say that my salary is more than 3 times the median. Okay? Because like masalah makan English here. So more than 3 times the median would be my where I am right now. It's pretty good. Kan hilen lo yeah, iso yang kan ramsang kan so tilman poto nge but here's the bottom line. I am saving much more here than I could save when I was back in India. I was in Bangalore. We bought a house in Bangalore, and I bought a house here too. And I'm building a house in Aizawl. And I have a family of 5. It's pretty good. I don't know about Mizoram, but it's pretty good. It's better than India, for sure.
Zona
zona kan lo nei ve lu peng Zorama angai nom kan thlok bui ang reng khop me sil tam tak kan riat bel pa zona pathum
ayan azot tu kan ini video ka han on la
video kan on angi
Param Puyamo. Nilit Lamagan Senior Technical Officer.
Kan zo do chu tunlai technology kha presentation tang khanin kan han ta cloud computing ti tele machine learning te deep learning te sang te kan lo huwa cloud computing ti te nangma thlir danin hovel hi tunam hi local soja ta ngi lo tun 5-year prediction eng technology nge local leang hemi bak hi I local thartu enge ni ti ngai rani niam ti kha kan zot tel duwa nga local le mo kum som nu hian eng technology nge hemi bak hian machine learning kan ti te artificial intelligence kan ti tele cloud computing bak hian enge ni thil tharon omle tuniang prediction engamo inei thiam ti kha ka zona pakhat na lo in ta se adot le chuan I security chungchanga khan ngi US ate mo lo lu du tai langain eng specialization nge ni nga yang kan bachelor degree mo master degree pa nga ya khanin eng specialization eng skill nge ni nga yang tia kha specialization kha kan zo tel do chuan apathum na chuan forensic lampanga hianin lo lu du ta silangin kan zirlai kam takahi US atemo chan som thiam cyber forensic lampanga te hian ti kha ka zona pathum na chu ni pakhat na chuanin tun atanga kumnga amo kum soma hian eng technology tharnge ro kal le ang ti kha nangma ngai dan engemo inei thiam ti le apan hi na chuan security lampang itur khan eng specialization eng skill nge ni nga yang chuan forensic lampanga lu du tai la cyber forensic mo computer forensic mo ta se eng ang nge ni alu theida na kha US lampanga te chan som thiam kha piang zong khan I zona pathum kha non zo ni
prediction khong ai ka crystal ball ka local lo ni mole jokes apart that the trend will continue basically tuna technology la piang thar limit man self driving technology te low mature zo nga karin dana chuan so that there's going to be more advance in AI and machine learning chuan machine learning aro po tunlai chuan a lot of the times you have to write the actual machine learning algorithm code. You have to write the code. Tuna startup tartam tegina and investigate so what's called a declarative machine learning, where you just say this is what the machine learning algorithm should do, declare what it has to do. These are the inputs and this is the data. So without you writing code, there's a software system that creates the infrastructure for the machine learning algorithm to run, and the rest of the processing is automated. At the end, can declarative AI and to tam sozel ingeringa inge zona panina kan cyber security lamalu turun inge zir try timika
enge experience ne ngai security ati
security ka field and it's so I don't have a first hand experience. I would look at companies like CrowdStrike, chuan Palo Alto Networks dite kang ho kha tunlai chuan cyber security lama an liam ta kami te tang khan resource mangin explore thi mite sorry I'm not from a security background so I hope that's okay. It's one zona pathumna
zona pathumna kha forensic chungchanga kha cyber forensic mo computer forensic lampanga khanin kan zirlai te hi khami ang khan lu du ta selangin chan sa thiam khati zong khan amo enge ni kami tan khanin ing skill nge ni nga yang kami song khan zuru du ta se prerequisite nge mo skill ang chi nei tur khan
forensic ayan level sang omong mo log analysis te omong chuan a deepest level chuan they'll have to understand assembly language. Assembly language mangin antivirus software is yet on you have to have that processor architecture and assembly level language to identify the signature of malicious software. So it goes very deep. It depends on how deep you really want to go. Network forensics, it might be okay if you understand networking, routers, firewalls, and then log analysis. Say malicious software detected tura antivirus software and see anti-malware software and see you have to go really deep. You have to know compilers. You have to know assembly language. I feel the salve Tony, and I don't think anybody can be an expert, up and down the whole stack. So you have to choose, which area is, you find interesting, and take appropriate courses. Maybe look up on Udemy or Coursera, or maybe some security companies like CrowdStrike or Palo Alto Networks. They have some certification programs possible.
Ale kalau mu tu pe. Thank you.
Kan lo in rollo kanga dar ni jagan mang tader maya kan tui khom maya a senior apiang en kan tui pui mai om manga o te kan tia engtin nge ni zelang zo du reu te nei kan lo mem panali setang te khan ai kan lo tat view maya te la te hi chu YouTube lo ma thir nen hian mi za somnga the tho kan ne a thavia win ga sia kan participation po vena chan chu mi zong han tui pui chi subject khan chi alawa chete chunga ka tiangang kanan om the kha lo mong khop mai engtin nge ni ka zona zo du te kan la nei yam ela ya hian chat box le Q&A ya hian enga mo zo na hi chu oma amaro chu hei hi a general aron soi khanen thil tam taka kha alo chang to de uboka then zanin a hi chuan klema a practical oriented development thil kan han kal puya definition chumi inan lo na han tiang chi vel kha chu khoi ama Google vel po han share mai thiang chi kha chu kan han skip deu lek boka achan chu mi industrial experience hi a lua textbook kan han mu le kan ria the mai lo ang chi ha aron por kan resource person hian lo mong khom maya enga mo han zo du nei riau kan lo me mo ani khate mo te chu han la le lokela de chuan ne a rei lu tuk chuan kan speaker te po lo ha ve thei tho maya
in the short to make
video ka on ali la azu chu khane
til pakhat kala go du lo ka putluang tu na I enge ni hun khade te min pe theya kan lo e ma lo mo ta
loken ane he ar chong sang pui ne MZUIT department HOD ni akar tlem te ya PhD degree mo mai to rane ane an chong ve wane osera le
chuanin I nachina khanin entirnan no pang ho hianin na te hi an mulawang ti te hi an hlau ve thin ta ni hetila ya hianin MZI wa po hianin like engeni industry how te hi an local ve thin ta khatyang deuh khanin nangmani company atang hianin Bangalore khanin branch a omani khachuan an local ve na chance kha omangem o campus interview tur te khan ani le local theilo ta ang se enge kan ti ngai ti anga khanau pangte job an hu na tur ang chia khan
so mu chuan an local thiang in university na relationship nei khan maya
so what should we do?
I think I can find some contact.
Okay, so that will be lovely.
Maybe it would be useful for the university to initiate
Yes.
handshake, right? Get in touch with the university recruitment coordinator or something like that. I can find out.
Yes, yes.
But you know, maybe
So we would be very grateful. We would be very grateful if that can be arranged.
Yeah, it'll be great. B.Tech program mi kan nei crime studio kan.
B.Tech kan nei ya M.Tech hi kan nei bok to in.
What chat na sat. Ni chun talent pool po thuk ve do to nga tin tun lai chu ni nga ni campus placement for remote in the ka kan lo.
Yes.
On kal la hu on kal ke po ngai lo in thila ti thi mi.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, okay. Thank you so much.
Kan lau mem le do du này nè do tu sa tam trin tam thei don khop mai ma ro chu kun ta kan mang rei ta deuh bok nen kan khai khom to mai don men yang dai na tan chon nei bu zaro ma po kan ngen du chu IT society te tin college te enga maza ta BCA zirna tin university a po PhD thlengin zirna om chho to bangson Mizoram chunga po IT zirlai hi enga maza ta noma chung tena ganeng to me ma chu ha me a placement lampang na chung chang hi nia tin ke nia association timaila society zong ena kan ngai poimo velia chu IT promote dan tu rakha mi puinol puite a sarkar malak na te kong sang sanga eng tin nge IT kan choice nang tia te po khan nakina kan la ron ho kan lain ron ho nga eng nga mo te po platform sang sanga te po kan la ti ho nga chunga te po chon kan ngai takin entel pui zel tu ra te po kan han som hal nge che tin ai kan soi kan lo chin chia chon apu zoraman soi atang khan mithiam tan chon na hi atam le ni ti kha asiat tane IT yan na dang ang ani lem lowa degree nom zia nei wak lowa BCA MCA first division na ka pass ti ri nguta kha nen na kha min tiam lem lowa ne second division pass tan po mi thanem ngai tui tak mani injir eme an college mo university syllabus pialama wakkalla mani coding tenena katiang ang tenena thiamna tak nei tan ka chuan na khalo la tam hle ni ti kha kanan se thei boka tin ai zirla engam zat anom kanan ringa chungau tan te podan challenging khok maya syllabus ngor degree percentage that na ngor pialama khanin thiamna tak kha pachok turin tunlai online internet te lo thatta ka wangin ta classroom kan zir pialama ta mi ai sang kan ni du chuan vazir bel tur ton course kha tam mai ni ti ta ka kan an seboka in alu ko mai ne kan comment thui lo wanga jana rei to e puzaro mai hi football lama chuan mama te kan tia an ni ho kan painer ho an nia mi sang tan kong an lo ko muang deuh hian puzaro ma pai kan an be sei venga ke ni ho helaya apanele sang chi te phei hi chu ma ni to ka sarkar na wan fer te kan nia participant tam zo ka hian zirlai ka tiang ang clear chunga be sei na ne na e program ron delhi an thanem viawin kan ringa chung ho te tan te chuan kong ko mu tu ilani zel te po kan an be sei participant te po kan lo sei la tlang ne lu to ka US na ron zong ne ron zong dan me lo me khwal ro te chu kan ti em lawanga email te zoramthanga@yahoo.com chin sia pol khom mai chunga tang te chuan en engamo emi program pialama han zo bel du nei te serious tak kanoma ni chuan contact thei tura te po han be sei langin han som pa du bok sia chu la pianga lo ko mu thei turin kai pa tak tak IT lama chuan ini tia kha alo in thria langin nakin zela po ei zana chuan a career lampang kan an soya a subject matter lampang soi ho zan te po kan la nei anga machine learning ti te AI ti te cloud computing yang si te po khang han lu chil tuma te po resource person te po kan laron be sei zel don chen ti kha han sei lok nei selangin ti chuan in anga ne kan speaker ku zoraman a khai khom na an engamo an tui ni du le ala nei chuan kun han pele lokela kan zanin kan program chu kan ti top ji mai don ya
ka presentation nge kan buat sai be de chu kan in suak chuan ka khri mi hian kan top ve me nga mi te khian MITS le mi dang te zanin a program lo chim ni tu nang hun cha Mizoram lama IT lama tui mi te le IT lama zirmek te IT lama zircha tui hang nei te ne na hun tak mai kan nei thia along ka tak zit ni voin hi voi khatna ka ngaya voi tam tak soi ho na tho ho na te kan nei so zel tu ngaya ko lo me le ti zong kha bây giờ là chắc ta các chọn rồi nó chỉ là tắm mấy ní đó mà cái là sợi hậu sầu dễ thì tụi là ngay mày ó
nè kan plat ti don chao long hay kan platform te a thailand link to a yang hi kan han ti chau zel langa kong sang sang a kan la ti chau zel tu ra be se ngo ti kanin kan du top hot mai don ne hang video te hi nya MITS YouTube channel a khan kan live fa en non du tan po tin zaina han telrem chang lo tan po a report ta kha en zui tu ro mane ti kha kanan sei ni selangen zawain mang tha vek ule
trâu
Ule